Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host Aramis, and I'm angry. Oh snap! You don't even got a name. You just angry. All right, tell them why you mad, bro.
So if you've noticed, I haven't been in Discord lately. And it's not because of Discord, it's because I got a lot to say.
Okay.
And when I have a lot to say, I don't want to dilute it by Discord. I want to sit on it for a while. It's just times like this when I'm sitting here like, I wish we did the show more often. I don't have time to, so don't ask. I can't do it.
You know they was about to.
Yeah. Well, I ain't got time for that. But what I saw, what I heard was kind of piss poor and got on my nerves. So
Wait, the mic is off? How's the mic off?
Whose mic's off?
Oh my gosh, hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Uno momento.
Mm-hmm.
Uno momento. Hold on.
My whole brain is.
I think hold on.
Oh, you know he does me?
It's on the wrong setting. That's all it is.
Did they hear me?
All right, how about now? We back?
Did they hear me?
Shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, yeah, y'all should be able to hear us now. Come on, somebody give me a thumbs up. Come on.
We want
Good?
thumbs.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay. Back to what I was saying.
upset.
I don't have a name. Your name is Aramis. My name is Angry.
Okay. What's up, Angry? Why you angry?
That's what we got with it. So, as usual, when I have stuff on my brain and I'm not just going to shoot the Willy Bobo, I stay away from Discord.
The Willy Bobo.
Because not because I don't like the Discord, not because I don't like what goes on in Discord, but because I want to sit on my emotions until the next show. Now, when you saw me doing all this while I was moving, I said, it's times like this where I wish I did another show besides Monday and Friday, but don't ask. I don't have time to do anymore.
Right.
Just don't. It's fine. That's where the hand wave came from. But what I do want to park on is the nonsense that we've seen on Twitter, the nonsense that we've seen on YouTube, the nonsense that we've seen elsewhere, and co-signing pissed me off. I'm not one to really go at people, but I felt myself slipping towards that function.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman.
He getting a lot of
Keon Coleman. This is what we're doing, Bills fans. Bills Mafia. This is what we doing? We're going to go to 21-year-old receiver. A 21-year-old. He sucks. This, that, the other, right? Terrible. Bust. So what the hell are we really doing? I don't give a...
Say it.
Nah.
Why you...
Because the nurse is there, he's judging. I don't give a patootie about. Wait, I am angry. I don't give a dang about what Steve Smith said. All right, because this is the thing about Steve Smith, and this is kind of long, but I'm going to come back to this.
All right.
Steve Smith talked about all the rookie draft picks in 2024 before the draft. Okay, we'll stay there for now.
Okay.
And I don't even care where he was drafted. I don't care anything about that stuff. What I care about is right now the Buffalo Bills Mafia looks like a disgrace. You turn on your own. Because it's the same thing I said before. What I say when we got Bosa, what did I say when we got Von Miller? What did I say? You get these old cats because Buffalo can't stomach new cats.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo has no patience. Why can't we have the new shiny toy? But you don't have the patience to wait for the new shiny toy. So my thing is, how many blockheads, how many mental midgets have you seen talking about our talent? You ain't got no foresight, but it's one word. You know what that word is?
What?
Research. Research. All this could be avoided if you research. Because guess what? The scouting report is public consumption. You ain't got to be an insider. You ain't got to be a scout. You ain't got to be nothing else but somebody that can read. Because everything we see on the field right now is what that scouting report said. So how do you call him a bust when he does exactly what he told you he was going to do when he came to the league? How is that a bust? He's a bust because of the bloated expectations of this leadership team, which brings me not to your thumbnail, but your thumbnail is perfect. I had no idea what it was. I didn't even know what time we started because somebody saw a thumbnail that I didn't even see. But The reason why I say that is because you guys call us armchair GMs, armchair coaches, blockheads, numbnuts. Everybody thinks we know everything and we're better than everybody. No. But guess what? Why do we do this? Because we read. Because we don't just listen to the tagline. We don't listen to the pundits. We don't listen to Cosell and Kuiper and all that. We read. And when you read, you get knowledge. And guess what that told you? It told you Keon Coleman doesn't run routes. It told you he can't separate. It told you he's not for everybody. Boom or bust. Guess what? Before the draft, you know who else said that? Steve Smith Jr. Steiner, whatever one he is. I don't even care right now.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it right now that this is a big deal? Why is it right now? So the reason why is because Big Baller Beane said, this is our guy. He's our ex. He's going to cure everything, didn't he? He said that. This is him. And when he said that, what did we say? You're just going to walk right into the X, huh? A raw kid walks right into X.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So whatever they say because they're GM, because they're qualified, they get paid. But guess what?
Well, if they were, see, that's the thing. If they were going to use him the way that he needed to be used, then they could say that.
Oh, I'm going much further.
Come on.
I'm going much further. But see, the thing is, Big Baller Beane, because he said it, it's so. Because Greg Cosell said something, it's so. Because Joe Marino said something, it's so. But see, that's the thing about why I like Locked On Bills, why I like, the morning show, the afternoon, because they don't agree with me. That's why I like talking to you, talking to Kill, talking to even Steve Lynn sometimes. Because I don't agree with y'all all the time. But I learn stuff.
Right.
I hear it different, but see, you're not regurgitating what they're saying on TV. You're not regurgitating what Cover One says because they want to work for the Bills one day. This is our own opinion based on our observations.
Right.
And whether it's right or wrong, okay. Tommy, okay, you too. But you're not as volatile. Your tagline is, I call it down the middle. Aramis is not trying to call anything down the middle.
Not at all.
Steve is not trying to call anything down the middle.
Hard left.
Hard left. If you zig, they gonna zag. It's on purpose. And so the reason that's why I say that, because Tommy, you're kind of more of a soft landing. So the thing about Keon Coleman is they fell for the jacket. They fell for them cookies. And you know what happened when they asked him about that after?
Who told him about that? I'm looking at the person that told him about that.
I think Post Podium Podcast said so.
Man, listen.
And this is the thing. Keon Coleman doubled down when they asked him, so what do you think about Gabe and Steph? He said, I can't be Gabe. I can't be Steph. I can only be Keon. He's being Keon.
Yep.
The scouting report said this is Keon, and that's what he's doing. So why are we sitting here like, yo? So let me double down even further. You know what Keon Coleman said when he got hurt last year?
What?
He said the system changed.
Mm-hmm.
Did he not? So I broke that down for you. You're gonna like this. The first 10 games of the season, if I can pull it up. I know I've got to scroll here because I didn't know where I was going with this. I'm emotional. Okay. The first 10 games of the season, it was labeled Allen-centric chaos. The offense leaned heavily on Josh Allen's arm and improvisation, high-risk throws, frequent deep shots, and red zone volatility. Mm-hmm. Allen was responsible for almost all of the offense, passing and rushing. Mm-hmm. After week 10-ish, and Keon was back like week 14, something like that, Joe Brady changed the emphasis to a run-balanced scheme, short area rhythm, matchup-based targeting. Allen's decision-making improved with fewer turnover-worthy plays. He became a field general. Don't tell Warren Sapp that. Them's fighting words from Warren Sapp. But he's not a playmaker. He's just more surgical and less reckless. Coleman said, after week 10, where he came back, he said his role became more matchup-driven, often deployed to test boundary corners or open space for Kincaid and Cook. He was basically a decoy. His snap count and route tree was narrowed. He focused on verts, fades, and occasional deep crossers, which we don't really see him do now at all.
Not at all.
While his volume dropped, his explosive play rate increased. Do we throw the ball past 20 yards? No. So
not unless we're 3rd and 20.
Yeah, 3rd and 20, and we still might hand it off to like Ray Davis or something.
Yep.
So he went to a shot play specialist, and he no longer was the number one target, which is what they said he was. He was the number one target in offense before he got hurt. That was Josh's first read. So what I'm getting at is they take away the verticals, that Keon Coleman supposedly did well in.
Mhm.
He supposedly was killing the game, was on pace for some season that never was. And I'm looking at the numbers here. You know, it's clear as day. Keon Coleman is a figment of your imagination how good he was before he got hurt. Once again, just like with Trent Edwards, how good he was before that hit. Because see, what I noticed with Buffalo is you always got to put a hard stop on something when things change. It can't just be other variables. It's got to be this thing, this one thing, a hit, a benching, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that some people just aren't suited for certain schemes? We took what we took. If you remember, matter of fact, I'll go back even further. Remember when I said on the embedded they showed, you know, McDermott and Beane drafting Keon Coleman,
Mm-hmm.
and Brady was in back like, I wonder why he said, that ain't gonna fit what I want to do. That don't fit what I want to do at all because he don't separate. He don't do this. He don't do that. But see, then I thought about, no, Trent Edwards was never actually good, Nate. But see, SDB, that's the point. See, what I'm getting at is you guys are saying what I've been saying. You guys are saying what I've been saying. This is not Keon Coleman sucks all of a sudden. If you look at Keon, I challenge people to run Keon Coleman's numbers, and I think I have them here. Keon Coleman's numbers before the injury versus after. He had a couple big games, but for the most part, he was getting what we're seeing right now.
Right.
He was on pace for what we're seeing right now. The same thing.
Yep.
What changed?
Yep.
But see, this ties back to my point earlier when I said Buffalo has no patience. He's in his second year. Was he supposed to be great? What did you think he was going to be, Stephon Diggs? Did you think he was going to be Justin Jefferson? If so, why was he there at 33 or 34?
To be clear, when you say Buffalo, you mean Buffalo fans.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, why? If he was that good, why would he be drafted in the second round where he was? You got to ask yourself, why was he still there? He got passed on.
So here's the thing. A player that comes into the NFL with the type of elite traits that Keon Coleman has, you have to have a plan for that player. And I think what you're trying to point out now is the Bills have not been very consistent. We don't need to talk about good or bad. They have not been consistent with coming up with really good plans for these traits guys that they bring in. And more specifically, the first 3 picks of the draft, the picks of the draft that Jim Monas told us is usually picked by Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, and not the scouting department that they've hired to go out and, you know, do all of the information on all these players that they're looking at, right? But for Keon specifically, his skill set tells you that he should be drafted that high. And when I say skill set, I mean his athletic traits, his ability to you know, be big and be physical, and he can catch the ball really well, and, you know, make plays over the top and all that kind of stuff, right? Like his traits tell you he should be drafted that high. If he was a little bit faster, right? I would say, so he ran what, 4.7? I would say if he was in the 4.5 range, he probably goes mid first round. But he admittedly didn't train for the 40, right? So we got to look at the context. I'm so huge on context. I say this all the time. What you're pointing out now is a lack of attention to context. You're going based off of the consensus opinion of people who aren't doing the work necessary to reach the truth about this and about this situation, which is, I mean, Stevie Johnson has said it a couple of times now. Keon is not being used the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said for a couple of weeks now myself, none of the weapons that we have aside from maybe James Cook right now is being used the way that they're supposed to be being used. And I'll even throw Josh Allen into that mix, right? Because I promise I'm gonna give it right back to you in a second.
No, you do your thing.
But
I need a breath anyway.
Thank you. But the thing that stuck out to me when you were, going through what you were bringing out was look at what's going on with the Chicago Bears right now and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a supremely talented quarterback that is Josh Allen-esque, Mahomes-esque. When the play breaks down, that's when he's at his best, right? And the thing that he needs to do that Josh Allen did and Pat Mahomes did is mature. Really, that's really what it comes down to. He needs to settle down and mature. But the system that Ben Johnson employs is a very disciplined system, a lot like what Sean wants in place here, right? Now, what are we seeing happen with the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams? Well, his consistency in production is not there. And it's not there because, A, some of the weapons that he has around him aren't conducive to the consistency that we're looking at, right? The other part of this is he's not that type of quarterback to play in a very structured system, right? Look at the system that Mahomes is in, and then look at the system that Caleb and Josh are in. Two very different things, right? One of the things, so Daniel sent me a link for this podcast that Stevie does, and one of the things that Stevie mentioned in the podcast was if you watch the Chiefs play their offense, a lot of times guys are breaking off their routes or the ball is coming to them before their route is before they've gotten to the end of their route or to the spot where the ball should be going, right? And that's just because of the chemistry. That's because of what they talk about in practice and what they figure out through practice and game planning and stuff like that. Hey, we might not have time for you to get all the way here. Just look for the ball here if it gets to that point. You know what I'm saying? If you see me break out, then or if you see the defense give us this kind of look, just turn around early here. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff can be done because you're working with a head coach and an offensive coordinator that trusts his quarterback and his offensive weapons in that communication to make those things work. Right? But when you run a disciplined system that has to work the specific way that the guy running the show wants it, the way that Ben Johnson wants it, the way that Sean McDermott wants it, there is no space for that. And so the ability to communicate those kind of things isn't prevalent. And it's not prioritized, I should say. Prioritized is probably a better way to say that, because I think to some degree players do talk about that. We can't say that they don't, but I don't think it's prioritized in the grand scheme of how the offense works, right? When they go to review film with Josh, they're focused on, Josh, you were supposed to be looking here. Well, yeah, I get that, but I didn't have time. Okay. So where's your hot? Oh, well, he was getting blitzed. Oh, okay. Well, let's move on to the next play.
Yeah, Stevie said that on those plays, he broke it down. He said on those plays there should be two hots. Yeah, and they're not. Right. There should be a blitz. It's just it's a mismanagement of the cast. And if you look at, I put it up while you're talking. And I don't know if you mind if I just something real quick.
Yep.
To the point about Keon Coleman and this mystical first half of the season he had last year. If you guys want to run this down, week 1. He had 4 receptions on 5 targets for 51 yards. Week 2, no receptions on 1 target. Week 3, 1 catch, 1 target, 24 yards. Week 4, 3 catches for out of 4 targets for 51 yards. Week 5, 1 catch on 5 targets, 49 yards. 3 catches on 4 targets for 26 yards. And he had a big game, 4 catches, 7 targets, 125. And yeah, so then he went down to 5 catches for 70, 1 catch for 21. So where was this drastic change? Because if you go back to when he came back, he gave you 1 for 64, 1 for 17, 3 for 27, and 2 for 31. Their targets disappeared. The big play disappeared. If you look at where Keon Coleman is supposed to be playing, by what I've found, Keon Coleman is best in a vertical play action offense. He's best in a zone heavy layered concept scheme. He's best obviously in a red zone. Where he's not good, scramble drill offense. He's not a good freelancer. That's what they said. He's not a good freelancer. Mm-hmm. What do we do with Josh Allen all the time?
Freelancing all the time.
So What do we expect? And Roll, yeah, he said Keon has been hated on more each week. I don't like he's still a kid. I don't like that. But I agree with you. I mean, it's because people are getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
And people are talking about separation. People are talking about this, and and who's the scapegoat? Because he's the new shiny toy, if you will, the high investment second round draft pick, if you will. Josh Palmer, whatever. He's a free agent for somewhere. Elijah Moore, he's never done anything elite. Curtis Samuel, we've seen him for 3 years now, and he hasn't done ish. So what's next? Oh, the big tall dude over there. He looks sweet. What's he got? Let's see his stats. He has 11 catches for 129 yards in the last 5 games. That's it. He's got to be garbage. It's got to be him.
Yeah.
But and it's funny because if you saw the clip where they asked him about it really was a big catch though. Tommy said the big game is where he got Cooper. Let's not act like he exploded in that game. It was a catch. He had a long boy and he took it deep. I mean, it was fine. He had 3 catches in the game. But yeah, it's more so about why are you putting these guys in situation? Not just him, but all the receivers. Why is it that we can't go deep? Why is it that we don't have, KJ Hamler, people that we could have had to go deep? Why is Elijah Moore being missed on every deep pass that they throw to him? Because they don't want to do it. They don't practice it enough. There's no chemistry. That's what it tells you right there.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't do it, it means they never tried or they just can't do it. And in this regard, we've seen Josh Allen make that throw. We've seen Elijah Moore make that catch. We've seen Keon Coleman at his best. We've seen these guys do stuff on the field.
Yep.
But there's a reason why when you have them doing something they don't do usually, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at the separation thing, and this is funny how this works. It said when people talk about separation, they talk about an expectation. They talk about perception, because most people don't have all 22, and if they do, most people don't know how to watch it the right way. Am I saying I watch it the right way? No, but it works for me. But what I'm saying is, when you watch on TV, are you watching the receiver at his stem break off? Is it even on the screen? How often do you get to see that? How often do you get to see somebody on the other side of the field that's not highlighted by the camera? There's like 30 cameras in the stadium. They're all not going to show you what you need to see. But guess what? You go to all 22, you can watch. Oh man, that guy was open. Oh man, no, he wasn't open. Oh man, and it was funny because I told Laura, and I kind of got on her. She's not here, so I can say this. I got on her about telling her to watch the Keon Coleman routes up until the Atlanta game, and she never did. And she said, I don't want to sit through all that and put myself through this again. I said, you know what? Don't worry about the whole game. Just watch his routes.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? He is getting open, but it's not fast. It's not when Josh is looking at him. So that tells you right there, Josh looks and says, nope, too fast. I gotta go. And it's like he doesn't anticipate, or the route structure doesn't give him the progression of the route. He's saying, you know what? I like this matchup over here. I like that matchup over there. I'm gonna look there first, but he's open over here. Or sometimes they're just not open, but then you got to throw the ball away. But what I said and what I confounded was a lot of people that talk about separation are used to over separation. Who do we have before Keon Coleman? We had one of the best separators in the league. Anytime he wanted to get open, he was open.
Yeah, it's just best we not say his name.
Yeah, and but that's my point, because it mentioned, it didn't say in Buffalo, but it mentioned a lot of people's perceptions based on previous experiences.
Yeah.
In our experiences, well, that guy left that dude in his tracks. That dude did this. Why can't this guy do it?
I'm used to getting the ball out in this certain period of time.
Right. And then why can't that guy do it? Why can't this guy do it? Well, guess what? That's just not their thing. Yep. I believe Marino was ragging on Diggs because guess what? Because Beane and other people tell you, well, we got to get better, got to have a higher conversation. Would I have a higher conversation with yourself? Because you drafted him, overlap McConkey, he was a better separator than him. You didn't move up for BTJ, yeah. And everybody says Jacksonville wasn't getting out. Why would you why trade with them?
This is a big point here too. Sean Kula says the everyone eats style plays a part too. I'm noticing Allen predetermining who gets the ball instead of actually going through reads. He's missing open guys because he isn't looking on that side.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And that's Sean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm like, man, that's a great point.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, you know, if it's play around football and you really don't know who's going to come open, because Earnhardt Perkins, I can look at this read and say, okay, based on what I'm seeing, he should be open. This guy should be open. That guy should be open. Whatever. So I'm going to look there first. But like Sean said, when everybody eats, I mean, this is a whole bunch of routes being run. Some guys are on top of each other. Some guys are not doing the right thing. Some guys are not, they're taking plays off to set and third. And Keon Coleman now in the press conference, when they asked him, what do you think about Steve Smith talking about it? He said, I got no comment. He said, I don't know what he said. I ain't got no comment because I ain't watching. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah. He said, I don't know what he said. I got time for that. But he also said, I'm doing my 111. Oh God. I'm doing my 111. And now people are saying this guy has got to go because he's a deviant. Okay, let me ask you this. He's 21, 22, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. No older than 22. He's from Opelousas, Louisiana. Okay. State after Michigan. And the world was given to him, basically. Mm-hmm. Came out of I'm not going to say nothing town because Buffalo's not huge, but it's bigger than that, obviously. Mm-hmm. So he came out of a small town where everybody knows your name. Cheers. And, you come to Buffalo and you made it. Not because you came to Buffalo, because you get to the league. And people talk about culture fits and he's being disciplined this, that, and disciplined that. Why is this? Why is that? I'm going to take it racial for a second. How many black kids say, yeah, I made it. I made it. And then get put in this position.
Yeah.
Of course they can be like, yo, I made it. But at the same time, how many Ricky Pearsalls are out there? Whether it be football, basketball, hockey, whatever. How many of those guys are? And it was predetermined, not because they're white. I'm not going there. I'm not being racial, but I'm just saying, when you look at the dynamic of cultures and where they're from, you got to take that into account. You can't put them into a cookie cutter mold of what you think the Buffalo Bills culture should be. Mm-hmm. Because like we said on the last show, you got to have dogs. People always say, you got to have dogs. But where are the dogs? How do you determine a dog? How can you be a dog in this culture? How can you be a dog in this situation? You can't. And this is where I have an issue with McDermott. I don't care about nothing else about McDermott, about I don't care if he is liked, if he's hated. I don't care about none of that stuff. What I care about is the culture facilitating, not because it's detrimental to anything else but winning a Super Bowl. You gotta have allowances for things, and everybody's not gonna fit into your, because they don't know what you know.
Right.
They haven't been where we've been. I haven't been where they've been. And you got to expect and understand that. You can't go into a combine looking at culture and looking at their personalities. If they're asshole, they're the asshole. They got to go. I can't use you. But some people are rough around the edges at first. Some people just need a shot.
Yeah. I have come to the conclusion that we have single-handedly, maybe not single-handedly, but we are an accomplice to turning Josh Allen into Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. And the crazy part is Josh Allen's not even putting up the kind of numbers that Jared Goff is putting up. Why? Because Jared Goff has got so many weapons.
I was going to say, how can you fail with all the stuff he has around him?
Right. Now let's think about, because we've said on this show before, Josh needs better weapons, mm-hmm. right? And when we think better weapons, we do think of offenses like the Lions and the Eagles and the Chiefs and all these other teams that have, dynamic guys to get the ball to, right? Now, when you're thinking about the Lions offense, mm-hmm. they have a tight end. They have 3 receivers that they can get the ball to at any point in time, and 2 running backs that they can get the ball to at any point in time, on top of having a top 3 offensive line in the NFL right now, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing that you can say about Jared Goff is he needs all that around him in order to have the level of success that they've been having the last 3 years, right? What you've seen with Josh Allen is you can have basically the same, if not more success than the Lions have had with less talent around Josh, right? But what Josh needs in order to be able to give you that more with less is the ability to play the style of football that he's comfortable with. And I think what we saw last year, probably more so than this year, is the second half of the season, they started letting him improvise more and do some different things. And they added an actual number one receiver to the wide receiver room here with Amari Cooper that changed the way that defenses had to scheme things up and game plan for the week because he might be on the field. So we need to be prepared for if he is on the field. If he's not, okay, cool, but that's extra time that a defensive coordinator and defensive staff still has to take to prepare for Amari Cooper, right? And that makes a big difference. The same thing happens, with pass rushers that are elite. You have to take extra time to game plan for these guys, right? So my point is, if you put Josh in a position where he can play, if he wants to play hero ball, cool. If he wants to play within the scheme of the offense, cool, whatever. Give him the flexibility and the freedom to do that by incorporating some schematic things that get these receivers open without having to rely so much on the receivers getting themselves open.
I like you said that. I'm glad you said that. I just want to take that just for a moment because you said, allow Josh to play whichever way he wants to play. You're in year 8, right? This is eighth season.
Yep.
At this point in time, you've pretty much taken all the bankroll from the Bills. At this point in time,
right?
You have seen everything you need to see. What I propose is this, Joe Brady, if you have any kind of intellect in terms of how to game plan an actual football game, have 2 playbooks.
Question that, are we?
The rhetorical almost, but have your not 2 playbooks, but have 2 schemes.
Yeah.
Let Josh go out there. You script up your first 15 plays, whatever it is. Let Josh fill it out. Like, you know what? I feel good about this one. I got this. Let me take over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bet. That playbook's out the window.
Right, open up the next one.
Open that one up. Or these set of plays. You know what, coach? They blitz and I can't figure it out. Atlanta, I need you to help me out with this.
Yep.
Bet. Say less. I got these. These are your quick hitters. Boom, boom, boom.
These stacks and trips, formations, and rubs. Everything to get
everything that gets open. Because Kansas City's a blitz heavy team.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you haven't learned anything else from the Atlanta game, what's open when you blitz all the time? Intermediate.
Yep.
Always open. But you got to know who's going to be open when they should be open. See, if they told me that we weren't separating because at this point in time on a 3-step hitch or whatever the case may be, if they would have said, okay, Josh Palmer's never open on a 3-step hitch where he's supposed to be, at this spot in 33 seconds, whatever the case may be. Yeah, they can't separate. We need to work on that. We're in trouble, Jack. But if nobody can tell me exactly without an unequivocal sense of football, who should be open, when they should be open, and where Josh is looking in, I don't want to hear about separation because any given play, I can point out somebody that's open.
Mm-hmm.
But if Josh ain't looking there, what's the point?
Right.
And that's what Marinos and all those guys leave out. Somebody's open, but when Josh is looking there, they're not.
Yeah.
And whose fault is that? It's not Josh's. It's not the receivers.
It's the guy designing the offense.
There you go.
Or should I say? So let me get your thoughts on this too, because as much as I understand the camaraderie at One Bills Drive and people working together and all that kind of stuff, I mean, things are supposed to naturally go well whenever people are working together on a singular project, right? But there's something about the design of offenses and defenses where if you have people designing an offense or a defense that are focused on different things within the offense,
mm-hmm.
it typically does not go the way that it should go, right? And what I think is happening now. Sorry, I gotta sneeze soon.
Uh-oh.
What I think is happening now is we're seeing a run game that's great and dominant and can carry this offense, and a passing game that's not doing so hot, right? And last year it was, the run game was solid, but it wasn't this good, right? And before that, it was the passing game was straight, but you just really couldn't get a run game going. You know what I mean? And you were still trying to find your consistency in the run game. What are your thoughts on this whole deal with Aaron Kromer running he's the run game coordinator, and essentially Joe Brady is just the pass game coordinator?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we knew that. He got to go way back for this sneeze. He's out of here. No, we knew that. Going back to even as far as last year, where running became paramount. So if you're looking at the Bills and how they scheme the run game and how they utilize the run game, what situations, it's been Kromer, and they've told us that it's not a secret. Helping out Joe Brady, especially as his first year full-time offensive coordinator. But there's a reason why the run game works so well with James Cook. There's a reason why the gaps are open. There's a reason why James Cook knows what holes to hit. But on top of knowing what holes to hit, James Cook has a natural ability to hit those holes. See, that's what Ray Davis can't do right now. And when people say Ray Davis, what happened to him? Nothing happened to him. He just doesn't have the physical ability to hit those holes that James Cook can, because he's not as shifty. He's not as fast. But I think Comer and Joe Brady obviously are leaning heavy on James Cook because that's their preference. So they schemed our offense. They got away from a lot of the gap scheme, and they went more towards the zone reads because they know that's what's going to get us paid. So I think every coordinator should have an auxiliary coordinator, especially somebody that is in charge of the central cog to make the thing go. And in this case, it'd be the offensive line. You can't run without an offensive line. There's a reason why James Cook went from 1.3 yards before contact last year to over 2 yards this year. There's a reason for it, and that offensive line is why, and that works hand in hand with Kromer.
So, I guess what I'm trying to get to is, I don't think it's so. I'll put it like this: go back and look at the success of the Panthers offense before they drafted Cam. It wasn't great. They had two offensive coordinators. They did the same exact thing there, which is, it's not unheard of in the NFL, but I know Sean well enough to know that familiarity is a big thing for him. So having Aaron Kromer run the run game and having Joe Brady just focus on the pass game seems like back when I was in Carolina, we had, those two guys, doing different aspects of the offense. And I can't say if in Sean's mind he thought it worked fine or whatever the case may be, but I think in Sean's mind now it should be working, better, right? But here's the problem with that. In order to have synergy within an offense, the run game and pass game need to be able to be designed in such a way that they play off of each other. And with the level of predictability that this offense has shown this season, that really wasn't there last year. Like we didn't have the same level of predictability where, every time Josh lined up under center, you knew it was a run play. We didn't really line up under center that much last year anyway to begin with, right? And I remember specifically saying last year, just get up under center more, run some play action.
Joe Marino
stuff.
definitely was big on, he wanted play action, and I'm like, why? I get it because it changes the look for the defense, but to Sean's point, because Sean he actually asked the question I answered earlier, but I'll say it again because it is the answer to what you're asking. Sean said, God, I have it in here real quick. He said, I may be wrong, but do you remember Allen saying year one of Brady that they sat down and Allen told him what he liked and what he didn't? So why does Allen seem so uncomfortable? I can tell you why. Like I said earlier with Keon Coleman, what I say? Week 10, everything changed.
Yep.
Last year was year one, and they sat down and Josh said, I like verticals. I like this. I like that. Remember, he said, I want Keon because I know how to use Keon. But when he got hurt, they said, let's do this instead. And we never went back. And at that point, Josh Allen, everybody wasn't on film last year. This year it is, and it's not what Josh wants to do. Josh doesn't like lining up in the center. Josh wants to throw the ball more. He probably wants to run more, but this is not there for him.
Yep. Okay. So let me go back to this.
Mm-hmm.
How do I want to say this? When Josh was in the midst of everybody eats last year, and he's playing from shotgun, he's comfortable, he's able to play more of the style of football that he wants to play. No, that's not going to work either. All right. Let me start from here. I'm gonna just get to the point. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank here. My point is this. You can't have this expectation of your $330 million quarterback to just be a game manager. In order for a guy to settle into that role, he has to believe that is his best chance for success. And Josh has shown us he doesn't believe that. He's shown us he doesn't believe that by his discomfort, right? Discomfort, it doesn't just come from not understanding how to operate within a certain space. Sometimes discomfort can come from, I'm better than everybody else around me. Why am I here? Right? I am so much further ahead in my development than my competition. Why am I still chasing a management job? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that kind of stuff comes into play when you're thinking about being uncomfortable in a situation. And I think Josh's discomfort comes from the place of, not only have we had a better passing offense, but I was basically the reason we had it. And you cut my balls off, bro. Like this, I don't know any other way to say it, but you've put me in a position now to be Jared Goff. You've put me in a position to be Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Like, Jalen Hurts is not Josh Allen.
Jalen Hurts.
He could
never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Nope, not doing it. Not baiting. You're not going to get me today.
Right? Like, Josh Allen is not even Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Burrow cannot do the things that Josh Allen can do. He just can't. Not only can he not stay healthy, he can't run like Josh. He ain't got the arm that Josh has. Right? So when we're looking at this thing, the indictment doesn't just fall on the offensive coordinator. It falls on everybody in that front office. How can you not see what you're doing to your quarterback? How can you not see how this offense is affecting him? How do you not, like, Sean McDermott knows and hears everything that the media says. He chooses what to react to, but he's got a PR team that feeds him all this information. He does, for sure. Right? So he heard when Josh said, I feel like my effing self again. That's a conversation that gets had afterwards of, you know, as long as you understand, we still need to play within structure. And I'm sure Josh is like, yeah, no problem. Cool.
He was like, that was accidental. I don't know who called that game plan. It's not going to happen again, though.
Right. Right. But you still have to, at that point, you still land on, okay, Josh is exuberant. He's vibrant. He's encouraged. He feels empowered. Like, all these things are necessary for players to play well. And when you start chopping them off at the knees and allow the fans to rain fire down on their names, because that's what we're doing to Keon right now.
Mhm.
We're raining fire down on his name as if he was always trash. This man made it to the NFL.
Doing what he's doing right now.
Right.
Doing what he's doing right now.
Right.
With what's his name? Jordan Travis. Was Jordan Travis better than Josh Allen? Ask the Jets. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jordan Travis can't even get on the field right now for the Jets.
Right. So it's like we're in a quagmire right now. We really are. This is a quagmire. So your fans are looking at what's happening. Who do we blame? Why is this going down? Because you said this is our ex, and he's not doing what we thought he was supposed to do. It's his fault. There's got to be. Then Sean said it best. If everybody eats, somebody got to be open, right? Yep. Somebody's open, but they don't want to pass the peas. Yep. And this is it's disheartening. It's really disheartening. And Daniel on my fault. He said in the chat earlier, you said Stephen Smith said you can't teach a dog to bark. Stevie Johnson said, I disagree. You think Keon will let the dog come out, let that dog out eventually? I don't think Keon is going to be boisterous. I don't think that's him. I think he has an air about himself. I think he plays cocky. Like when he caught the ball over Reek Woolen, he didn't celebrate. He just looked at it. He's like,
well, I can tell you this right now, based on my conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
If Keon was performing the way that Keon wants to perform, oh, he for sure a dog. For sure a dog.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's okay. Let me go back then, because I'm not saying he's not going to be a dog, but is he talkative? Is he? Yeah. He's very talkative.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, there's a reason. There's a reason that there's a gag order on him right now, right? It's not because he's frustrated or disgruntled or anything like that. He will talk. He you know what I mean? Like he's careful in what he says and all that, but he's also very thoughtful in what he's conveying. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Because when I say will he talk, I'm thinking about like Stephon Diggs or like
like being blunt and up front.
Like yeah. just loud and just a trash talker all day long. That's what I see a dog is. Like somebody's gonna come up and just pop like DK Metcalf right now.
Yeah.
He marched you. I see you. Why you say it to me? I'm here. Throw your hands up.
Yeah. I think if he was put in a position where he could be that, he would be that, right? I said this before when we drafted him. Looking at all his interviews and listening to how people talked about his mentality, he has the mind of a number one wide receiver. And I didn't mean that just from how he studies film or the way he talks about the game. I mean, from the way that he approaches the game, from a personal standpoint. Like, I'm going out here to just dunk on people.
Right.
Like, that's his mindset. The 60 points he scored in that basketball game, that's what he wants to be able to do on a football field. That's how he wants to play, above the rim every single time.
Was he? See, that's where we were. Going. That's where we were headed there.
Yeah.
But we didn't get there, so it's not like he fell off. The game plan changed. It didn't change because Keon started sucking. It changed because that's what they want to do the whole time.
Right.
They had Josh Allen sit down. Yeah, I like this. I like that. Cool, I got you. Boom. McDermott, he wants to do that. Tell him go to hell. Okay, Josh. It's not gonna happen. Sorry. No, you should pack that up. We're not doing that. We're doing this instead. So that's how that went. And that's his prerogative. That's McDermott's prerogative to do that. If he sees the game played a certain way, that's how all coaches are. I see us winning like this. Boom, good.
I like this point here. Buffalo Buddha says Quentin Johnston was supposedly a bust as well and looks good in year 3. That's because of how they're using him. They're actually getting him the ball towards the middle of the field. They're having him run, deep crossers and dig routes and a lot of different types of routes within an offensive scheme that creates space for him to get open. And now look, now he's a real weapon for them because they have an offensive mind that understands how to create space for these guys.
Yeah. And this is brought to me on Tommy's show. I don't know if Tommy's still here, but we talked about it, so I think he knows where I'm going with this. On this show, we were talking about trading for wide receivers. Tommy does every damn Mike. He's ready to like stab him in the eye every week. But the point is not lost on me that everybody's like Brian Thomas Jr. Trade for Brian Thomas Jr. Trade for him. And the guy in the comment was like, "Why would you want him?" I was like, "What?" He's like, he has, I think, the most drops in the league, whatever the case may be. He's abysmal this year. He said Jacksonville was worried about him. I said, yeah, right, whatever. I looked this up. Brian Thomas Jr. got 10 drops already this year. He got 10 drops. Guess what? Brian Thomas Jr., his catch percentage went from 65% to 49%. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Last year he had almost 1,300 yards receiving. This year he has 365.
Yep.
Who was the coach last year?
Liam Cohen.
He was last year too?
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Liam Cohen is this year. Last year it was...
Doesn't matter. That's my point. The point is the coach changed and everything goes. That's how quick coaching. That's how much coaching matters.
Yeah.
That's how much philosophy matters. If you change stuff, this is what. If you watch, I did watch the R22, of course. I'm always plugging it. He could give me a T-shirt or something. But if you watch Trevor Lawrence is passing the ball to no man's land. Like I don't even know who he's throwing to. Brian Thomas is giving up. He's short arming stuff because he's gonna get KILLED'd and like. A change of scenery might work for somebody like that, but I don't want to trade Keon for him. Think about this thing. What if you had Keon, Brian Thomas Jr., and Khalil Shakir? Think about if you had that. You got 2 second-year men and one guy under contract for the next, 4 years?
Real quick, I want to give congratulations to Levi Williams Jr. for being the smartest man in the room.
I thought that said Levi Wallace. Oh, my God. I was like, Levi, you're here. No.
He says Jordan Travis retired last year because his knee, not because he can't get on the field.
No, I know.
No, he was saying that to me because I'm the one that said he couldn't even get on the field for the Jets. So
yeah, his leg was
there's your spotlight, buddy.
Yeah, his leg was no.
So,
but he played. The reason why I said the Jets, Levi is probably like this guy over here doesn't know somebody. But the reason why I said the Jets because that's who drafted him and they tried, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. So this question from Nate. Oh, geez. Let me see.
Bless you. Was that the sneeze we were waiting on 15 minutes ago?
Nope.
You had it. Okay, I missed it.
Here it is. Quentin Johnson was supposedly a bust. No, that's
not it. You said that. You're losing it.
Where is it? It's a question from.
He asked a lot of questions though.
What?
Nate, write that question again. The one that he doesn't know what you wrote. Write it again so he can.
Yeah, he
the pre-snap motion.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. So
he's asking. So he did ask again.
Right.
Okay.
So the pre-snap motion stuff. As I'm wiping my nose.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Put them on display, all to see.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with the nose today, but
the nerve of you being sick.
I don't think it's that.
It's the pumpkin. Really it's the 6'7" pumpkin.
My 2 dogs got a haircut today, and I went to go pick them up, and ever since I picked them up, it's just been. I don't know what's going on. It could be pet dander, whatever. But anyway, so you know who answered this question this week was my guy Dan Orlovsky, and what he said was a lot of defensive coordinators, what they're doing now is they may follow the motion, and it may look as though they're playing man coverage, but they'll still drop into man regardless. They just tell their guys on defense, if they run motion, just follow the guy and just and they
fill the gap.
Right. Yeah. Just fill the gap. They just find ways to work the same zone, whatever the play call is, if it cover 3, cover 4, whatever. Just work that into whatever the motion is.
Could you imagine our defense trying that? It would be so bad. Oh, it'd be horrible if they tried that.
Yeah, it would be bad. So again, that's why the pre-snap stuff for us and really for most offenses this year has not worked out the way that we would want it to work out. Is defenses have figured out an adaptation to that to show you one thing and still trick your quarterback afterwards. So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we got to get into the game because we
on you. I'm following you.
Oh. Well, since we're doing that, let me take this moment right here. This moment right here, everybody, love it or hate it, don't care right now because it's more important to me than anything. I don't know if we're going live on Monday. You haven't told me yet, but I'm going to do this right now anyway. Monday.
We are going live.
We're going live. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, Monday. You know who you are. The person that nurtured first keys, second keys, third keys, all the way up to 40 keys. This one goes out to you. Birthday lady on Monday.
I was just going to say that's mama's birthday.
Let her cook. Well, she's not. I might let somebody else cook for her, but let it happen anyway. You know what? And I couldn't thank you enough for watching the show and being our 100th subscriber. Had to get YouTube to do it, and I heard about it on the ride to work. I'm gonna sign up for this YouTube now. I guess I'm gonna do it, and then when it happens, I'm gonna push the button. Okay, Ma, we gonna hit it. 99, Ma. I text. I said, Ma, you know, this is, I did it. Okay, cool. We got 100, and we did the little thing. But you know, and through it all, that's how she's always been, and it's transferred over to the little key ring, even though his name isn't really Key. You know, she has a second generation me. So I just want to show you appreciation, and everybody, if you would be so kind as to join in saying happy birthday, whatever you want to call her, Mrs. Keys, Mama Keys, I don't care.
Mama 40.
Mama 40. Love your mom.
Yep. I love you too, Mom.
Yes.
I love you too. Yes. So this was my intriguing thought, right? Because I always like to bring one of these to the show. Now, what I was having a discussion yesterday on the phone with Coach D and one of the guys that takes care of the grounds here at the studio, and the conversation was surrounded around. Sorry, my phone's doing some weird stuff. The conversation was surrounded around this rumor of the Bills potentially trading for Jacoby Myers. Or not Jacoby Myers, Calvin Ridley, right? And when I heard about that, I was like, oh, wow. My initial reaction was like, oh, wow, because they're actually going to trade for a receiver. Like, that's weird. You know what I mean? And the reason it's weird to me is because it's because of what it does to the GM as opposed to what it does for the team, right? I think Brandon Beane is in a very peculiar situation where he's screwed no matter what he does. If he does nothing, the team can't get better because they're not willing to change the scheme. Which means we're not going to see stacks. We're not going to see stacks. We're not going to see trips. We're not going to see rub routes. We're not going to see, any of that stuff being put into the offense to allow these receivers to get open through scheme and not just through their own volition. Right. So that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is if he does make a trade, well, then it looks like he probably should have listened to Jeremy and Joe in the offseason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna add that to the list of clothes and merchandise we have.
What?
I'm bitching. Justin Marshall, I'm bitching.
All right, bet. We can do that. We can do that. You know I'm gonna take you up on that. I'm up for anything. But so the other ancillary effect that holds great significance for this is if Sean does go out and trade for a number one wide receiver, who is the team forced to take off the field, right? Because if you take Coleman off the field, you didn't draft well. If you take Palmer off the field, he was never good enough to sign a $23 million contract in the first place. This dude is in a triple, quadruple bad situation right now.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what he does, whether he does nothing or whether he does something, he is going to take all of the blame, and it is going to look so bad no matter what. Now, what works in the favor of Sean McDermott throughout all this is the plausible deniability that has been established before. Brandon Beane said Keon Coleman was coming in to be the X.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the very next press conference when Sean came out? Keon's got to earn that.
Mm-hmm. Like, never mind what this dude said. He too happy.
Right.
Don't listen to him.
And I don't remember the other two occasions. I probably should have wrote this down, but there were two other occasions where Brandon Beane said that the team was going to operate in a certain way that Sean McDermott corrected or changed. Right. And so when you look at that trend, and I did point that out during the offseason, I said, it seems like Sean is starting to separate himself. Let's not be surprised if at the end of this season, if we have an early exit from the playoffs, if we miss the playoffs for some silly, stupid reason, that's going to be the guy that's going to take the brunt of all this, because most of the people that are calling the show are talking about the build of the team. They're talking about the talent that exists on this roster, right? Not there are people that are coming out and saying coaching, but most of the people that are complaining right now are looking at the team build.
Yes. And this is what makes me laugh. And I know we gotta move on to the game pregame, but Keon Coleman, he has to what? What did McDermott say? He had to what?
He has to earn it.
Glad you said that. From who? Mac Hollins? Oh, Tyrell Shavers. Xavier Johnson? Chase Claypool, Justin Shorter, Brian Thompson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. There it is, right? That one, huh? KJ Hamler, Andy Isabella, Lawrence Keys. No, we're not related. So who was he earning it from? Levi Wallace? Iron sharpens iron?
Right.
Play-Doh sharpens Play-Doh. Because this is not what it means. Iron sharpens irons mean I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna tear you limb from limb. That means when Stephon Diggs is out there with Christian Benford, I'm gonna make him better. Because what do they always say? I don't even know. What's the guard? I forgot his name from Louisiana, a rookie. Doesn't matter. Just guard X, we'll say.
Okay.
Why are you so good at this? Because I have to go against tackle X every day in practice. He's the best tackle in the division, in the conference, in the whatever. I see him in practice every day. There's nothing harder than this guy I have to play with.
Yep.
We don't have that here. I've never heard Max Harrison say, Keon Coleman is the hardest person I've ever defended. I've never heard Christian Benford say, I can't cover Josh Palmer in practice. He gets me, I get him. I've never heard. Only thing we've heard was Cole Bishop say, I beat Dalton Kincaid in college. Cool.
Yeah.
But we've never heard this across the board.
So the practices that we don't get to see is all the stuff that they plan on doing in the games, right? How is it that Keon Coleman was talked about as, he's balling, he's getting off on everybody, he's separating, he's getting.
I was gonna make that point. Damn it, I was gonna make that point.
Like, how is he getting off on our defense, but he can't get off on nobody else's defense?
Is it that our defense isn't good?
Whoops. Sorry.
I gotta walk that one off.
Isn't it amazing? Like, we hear all these things about these players, defensive players having great camps, and then they get to the regular season and they're not doing anything. Is it quite possibly because what they're being asked to do only works against us? What they see in practice is not what they're going to see in real life.
Right.
So if it's working in practice, but it's not working in real life, the issue is not the execution. The issue is the foundation of what you're doing. That's the problem. And that's why I put up Years of Lurking. I love the name, by the way.
Not ours. We've only been here 2 years.
Right. He said he or she says it's coaching first, talent second, right? That's been my standpoint, you know, and that's why I have such an issue with everybody else's, you know, kind of stance of it's Brandon Beane's fault. Like, I don't think Brandon Beane has done a terrible job, first and foremost, because of what I know about Brandon Beane's role on this team, which is doing what Sean asked him to do. And secondly, those first 3 picks being picks in the draft being draft picks that need to be approved by Sean.
Yeah. And I think that's what did it. And that's full disclosure even for Tommy, because me and Tommy talk about Brandon Beane all the time. We're like at odds about Brandon Beane. If you remember, I used to like Brandon Beane.
Yeah.
What did it for me and why I don't like him anymore is just WGR, the morning show. When he called in with that arrogance, when you have nothing on the field that substantiates the arrogance that you called them with, and you called them out on their show when they weren't even talking bad about you, you're done. You better produce.
Guys, what the hell are you talking about? Did you not just see it? We signed freaking Josh Palmer.
Right.
Like, you basically calling the show and dropping names like Josh Palmer as if we're supposed to shut up.
Oh, the Chargers number 3 wide receiver. Oh, thank you.
Right. I mean, guys, did you forget? We still got Khalil Shakir on the team.
Oh,
I mean, do I need to say any other names?
He was doing that head, I bet you. He had his bowl of cereal. Like, yo, hold on. Just hold on, man.
Right.
Hold on a second.
Guys, hold on. What are you bitching for? Seriously, guys, have you not heard the name Tyrell Shavers? Tyrell Shavers?
Guys, including the playoffs. We were averaging 30 points a game.
30 points a game.
So what are we bitching about? We got it under control.
What are you talking about? Albert, appreciate you, man. Says, hey guys, just learned that Von Miller has 4. He actually has 5 sacks.
That's 5,
which is more than anyone on our team. So we are paying him to play for others.
Hey, you want to know what's even better? Add up our top 2 sack guys.
Still got less sacks than Von Miller. Shots fired.
I just want you to be sad with me. Billy D. Williams said Beane's just getting the groceries. Coach can't cook. Yeah, probably. I mean, I agree with that, because if Coach has any inkling of what ingredients he needs, it shouldn't matter the name brand of it. It's just the ingredients that you need. It don't work. You don't do the things you do sometimes. We don't need to put beef bouillon in our spaghetti sauce. That's not what we do. But we got a whole bunch of that happening on defense, a whole bunch of that on offense, a whole bunch of that all over the place. It's ruining the recipe.
Right. Sean Kula says, I get that McDermott says, hey, Brandon, this is my type of player I want. I still feel it's on Beane and scouting to find great players. And then he goes on to say, like, McDermott could say, I want this type of linebacker, but he's not telling Beane. So, okay. So here's, and I totally understand the sentiment, but I think you reach that sentiment because you're missing a bit of information. Okay. Here's the bit of information. If it was just about talent for talent, then yeah, I would easily say, and I would agree that it's Brandon Beane across the board, has nothing to do with Sean whatsoever. Except for this. When you factor in the context of how culture plays a role in the player, the draft pick's life, and how that draft pick fits into the culture of the team that already exists, that's the determining factor that Brandon Beane ultimately has to go by. So that changes the discussion of talent versus talent. If it's linebacker A versus linebacker B, and linebacker A is a little bit less talented than linebacker B and has a little bit less production, and his numbers in the combine are a little bit less than linebacker B, but linebacker A fits the culture, that immediately puts linebacker A a little bit above linebacker B when it comes to how this team drafts.
Okay, so let me retract my last statement. I blame Beane again. I do. Because by that logic, think about it like this.
Okay.
If McDermott says, I want this kind of player and I want him to have whatever rubric of culture, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. If I go out and draft, we'll just say I'll use it because it's what we talked about all day today. I want Keon Coleman, whatever that is.
Okay.
And Beane says, all right, cool, I got you, and goes get Keon Coleman on steroids. And he has a little less coof than the one that McDermott likes. How bad would McDermott look if he said, what the hell is this? You gave me somebody that can play? You give me somebody that looks good in training camp, somebody that looks good on the field? The hell would you be? You're fired. Everybody be like, excuse me. Even Pagula might wake up from his coma. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we firing him when we have talent? You know, and it'd be so obvious. It'd be so evident. And that's the thing that's what I get to when I think about the recipe analogy I use all the time. It's like, yeah, you don't want I don't even say that because we might have somebody watching the show. You don't want somebody that has a rap sheet a mile long.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But if you stealing crab legs and this dude going to church every Sunday, if crab legs is an all SEC player and the dude that goes to church is second team all Big 12, I'm taking the all SEC player and let McDermott figure that part out later.
Well, that again, so this is I hate being this guy, but even that stance doesn't take into consideration that, well, I guess I should say it like this. And I'm not saying you are assuming specifically, but your position assumes that Brandon Beane has the freedom to do that. And I'm not even positing. This is based off of factual information that's been reported, things that I've heard privately, and things that have come through other people's reports that are out there that you can go research and find. The position that Brandon Beane is in is one where he follows the game plan that Sean approves.
Right. And this is what I need to know. And you don't have to tell me. Actually, don't tell me off camera either. But this is what I need to know. I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Is Beane selecting the players? So not the type of player, but does McDermott have enough wherewithal to go scout these players and vet these players and do all that stuff?
So no. So the way it works is the scouts give Beane a list of players,
mm-hmm.
and then Sean and Beane sit down and go through, and Sean may sit down with some of the scouts and they'll kind of all look at the players together. Like Beane has talked about this process
mm-hmm.
where, they'll all sit down and they'll, go through the list of players and stuff like that. And then what happens from there is Sean and Beane will put together a short list. And that short list is usually the players that are on the 30 visit, and B, players that they are sure fit the culture. Okay. Then what they do from there is they start going based on, okay, where do we think this player is going to go? Like how realistic is it that we'll be in a position to get this specific player? Then they build their board based off of that. That's their process. So when I say it's not solely based, but it's mostly based off of the approval of Sean, but Beane is kind of there with him in lockstep, kind of, talking things through based on what so Brandon Beane will be the guy conveying to Sean, well, this is what the scouts are telling me, and this is, what we've seen, and I've been to see this guy.
Because now you're making it even worse. Not what you're saying. No, not what you're saying. But think about it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Keon Coleman on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
If this dude is that fella, scouts, what do you think? What do you think? Is it, leave some of that stuff out there. Leave some of that he drinks 40s out. I drink 40, so I can say that. I'm with you if you drink it, but no. It's like, okay, so either the scouts don't respect Beane enough to say, okay, we see where this is going. We give Beane the word. We say, Beane, this is what it is. And Beane goes to Sean, and Sean, he handpicks whatever. Who's the numbnut that doesn't leave out some of the bad stuff just to get him over the top? Because our job, especially like if you're Terry Gray, if you're a scout that wants to move up, is to find that talent. And to say that I found this guy, to say I found that guy, even if we didn't get a chance to draft him,
mm-hmm.
That goes right. And these guys, like, they're just crossing their names off resumes across the board because they're saying, yeah, because the coach wants this, wants that. At some point in time, the coach, we're going to really evaluate. Because kids don't tell dad everything. That's kind of what I'm getting. Kids don't tell dad everything. And dad don't know kids don't tell dad everything because dad thinks that they're telling the truth.
Yeah, but again, the guy that reports to Terry Pagula is Sean, not. And I know that they each have separate conversations with, but again,
I think what I'm getting at is Sean only has the information that they give him. And if they're giving him all the information, even though they know that some of the stuff they're giving is not bad enough, that's gonna be a detriment to the team, but it's bad enough that Sean's not gonna want him, I probably would leave that out.
Yeah, but okay, what you're saying from a place of not only frustration, but from a place of I'm going to find a way to improve this team, whether my head coach likes it or not. And what I'm trying to say is Brandon Beane has already been confronted about that, right? I reported this 2 years ago when Sean called Brandon Beane privately and it was overheard Brandon Beane screaming back at Sean in his office because Sean called Brandon Beane and asked him, are you still on board? And confronting him as if, there was some sort of, betrayal or something that Brandon Beane had done that wasn't what Sean would have wanted to happen. And this is something that does not happen when the hierarchy is GM and then head coach. You don't get a head coach calling your GM and saying, "Are you still on board?" in such an assertive manner, where you're putting the GM on blast, and now you're going back and forth. So we know what the hierarchy is here, which is very different. Now, here's what I need everybody to understand when I'm saying what I'm saying. This vision, this iteration of the Bills, this hierarchy that we're seeing doesn't come freshly from the mind of Sean. Sean is not that creative.
I know.
He's really not. This vision that Sean has comes from not just Sean seeing it, but Terry Pagula seeing what the New England Patriots did. That's where this iteration of the Buffalo Bills comes from. We didn't start seeing teams hire head coaches and make them the head coach, and GM, and then just hire a GM that was basically a quasi scout or a pseudo scout.
Not even that.
We didn't see teams start doing this until Bill Belichick started winning mad Super Bowls with it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, here's the other part of this. Look at the guys that Bill Belichick was drafting. Right? You mean to tell me Sean's not looking at that and saying, well, Tom Brady won with nobodies on his team, and he had one or two guys that he could count on, but they won with their culture, they won with their defense, they won with the Patriot way. That's what Sean was looking at when he came here, and he pitched that to Terry Pagula, and Terry Pagula had to watch that for 2 years and lose to that for 3. Under Rex Ryan and Doug Marrone before he left. So we're in a situation now because of Terry's longing for what the Patriots had and Sean's capitalism on what the Patriots had. And we're forgetting that at no point in time when Sean was still playing against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did we ever beat them. He lost every game to those Patriots, unless they just didn't need the game, right? So this is not a system that's designed it's a copy. It's a copy of a system that worked. But the way that it's being employed here, the difference here that didn't exist in New England was the no-name guys that they got were all nasty, mean, ugly, willing to cheat, fight, scratch, bite, do whatever it takes to win. Those were the types of players that the Patriots drafted. That's why their defenses were so nasty. That's why their offenses were always scrappy, because they had guys with a dog mentality that were willing to come in and do the work, play the role, but when they got on the field, they were scrapping like they were rabid dogs, right? Here, we got a bunch of nice guys. That's the difference. We're playing on the feelings of a culture that is lovey-dovey, camaraderie, kumbaya, all the, these guys love each other. We don't have these guys that are willing to go out on the field and bite somebody's toe off.
Yeah, and I think Tommy said kind of what I've been saying in the last part. He said McDermott hired Beane, which often doesn't work that way in the NFL. Pagula gave McDermott control, and Beane understands this and won't risk his job. Maybe he should, but he said maybe he should. And at this point, and that's the thing,
I
like
agree with that too.
That would be your calling, and that's the part. It's not even my frustration is me not being able to discern why this guy has been. How can I say? Damn. Why this guy's been? He's been punked. He's been punked.
Yeah.
And the point that I was trying to make, Tommy, and you know, we had this conversation. The point of what I was trying to say is at the point where McDermott called and said, "You still on board?" Beane was one of the hottest things walking as a GM. And it goes into, I mean, people like with Nate, not with our Discord Nate, the other Nate, what the Buffalo said. I wish I could find it real fast. No, up one more. He's got one more up there at the top, right there. He said, "If you want Beane out, you're off your wagon. Some of my fellow Bills fans delusional and forgot about the drought. Beane got us good when nobody else could."
Yeah, put Josh Allen on the Doug Whaley team, and we doing way better than
But
this.
the thing is, when we drafted that initial team, Beane wasn't even here.
Right.
That was Whaley that did that. So if you want to talk about the drought breaking team, that was Whaley and Sean McDermott.
Exactly.
And Beane came and got Josh Allen, the rest is history. So then, I mean, he goes on to say, you know, somebody asked, Sankey said, so Nate, you're saying Knox and Samuel have great investments. Keon over Ladd was a great call. Cooper DeJean over Keon. That's good. We forget forget he was slow to play Cook.
Yeah.
And then Nate said, for what they're paid, yes, Knox will restructure and can block. Samuel faces injuries. Beane didn't pick Keon. Josh Allen did, not Beane.
No,
but
you're missing it.
But the point I'm trying to make with that is, you know, that's the philosophy that keeps McDermott in power.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not. Somebody wants him to get a pink slip. I just wanted to back the hell up. So, you know,
I've since taken a step back. If he changes his ways, okay, fine. But if he's going to continue with this BS, then yeah, pink slip.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that, and that's the thing. It's people are so afraid of the drought that they don't understand that we're going to middle in playoffs. Yeah. People are happy to play in January, but I want to shot at that up there, because right now the expectation is Super Bowl, not playoffs. Yeah. So if we're going to the playoffs, like I said when Mac was here, anything less than Super Bowl is failure.
Right.
You fail whether you win.
You hear Howard Simon say that on WGR?
He must have been listening to me last year.
He said the same exact thing. He was like, "How can you live like that?
I can't.
How can you live in an existence where it's good enough to just make the playoffs? Like, that's not the goal." He specifically said the goal is the Super Bowl.
Right.
He said he watched a team full of Hall of Famers lose 4 straight Super Bowls. And we don't even have that right now, and we can't even get to one.
Mm-hmm.
We're so happy to have Josh Allen to be free from a 17-year drought. Now, and this is the part that kills me the most. When you go back and look at all the records that we had during the drought, we didn't have very many 6-10 seasons. Everything was 7-9, 8-8,
even 9-7 with the Patriots there.
Yeah,
and every year when the Patriots weren't there, we would have been fine. But
always just good enough to just miss the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Always just good enough to need somebody else to exactly. Yeah. Always just good enough to rest on the bubble at the end of every season. Never good enough to make it, but never good enough to pick high enough to get really good players to change things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was the drought existence. The drought wasn't we were just terrible all the time. The frustration then was, how do we keep ending up in the middle?
Right.
Like we're in what purgatory is what we used to call the drought, right? But I did want to say this real quick too, because somebody said earlier in the chat, I'm not sure if it was in Nate's comment, but they said if you get rid of Beane, well then who's gonna take that spot? Well, the reason I put the other face in the thumbnail is that's Terry Gray. And Terry Gray is the guy who's responsible for picks like Jordan Hancock and Dorian Strong and some of these late round guys that you're seeing that tend to come in here and do very well, right? As previously reported, not by us, by Jim Monis, picks 4 through 7 are typically just the scouts, tell Beane who they like, and Beane goes and sends the card in.
I'm glad you said, because I was going to pull this up, and it goes right in hand with what I was looking for. Darth Gator said if Sean picks the early rounds and Beane has more freedom. It's not just Sean, it's Sean and Beane. And then the scouts have more freedom in the later rounds. Since we draft better in the later rounds, how is Beane the problem? It's because it's not being drafted in later rounds. It's the scouts.
Right.
Like you just said, the scouts are handing Beane, say, this is our guy.
Right.
Send it in. He's like, okay, cool. Who is this guy?
I mean, again, prime example. The type of GM Brandon Beane is just like Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is not a scout, but he's a guy that employs, guys who used to be GMs to go and do their scouting.
A robust scouting department, believe it or not.
Exactly. That's how they continue to draft so well. Howie Roseman is just the numbers guy, the contract guy, right? That's who Howie Roseman is, and that's who Brandon Beane is. So when we're thinking about the guys who go out there and actually do the work, Terry Gray is the assistant GM right now. Just got promoted to that to that job this year. But last year there were guys interviewing him. The Patriots wanted to interview him. The Titans interviewed him. And he turned down both of those jobs to accept an assistant GM job here. Right now, if you were to see Beane get a pink slip and you had any kind of fear of, well, what happens after that? Terry Gray is your guy. Terry Gray is widely regarded right now as a great young up and coming GM in the NFL.
Yes, he is.
So do your research on Terry Gray. Terrence Gray is his name. Okay, his face is in the thumbnail.
Put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name, and don't think of Brandon Beane as a guy that has to stay here solely because there is no alternative.
He's the one that if you watch the Embedded during draft season, he's the one that was like, that guy is a dog. That guy is a workhorse. He's talking about Jordan Hancock.
Yep.
And before we move on, I just wanted to touch on a couple of things here. Tommy said, was it Whaley or Moore McDermott in 2017? It doesn't matter. It wasn't Beane. That's the point I was making. Beane wasn't here to the degree that we were talking about. Tommy said Beane would be hired very quickly or fired. That's what I'm saying. Why didn't you say this when we argued 2 weeks ago? I'm saying if he knew what he knows and what his value is, he would not be punked like this. This is why he doesn't get the freaking green. He doesn't get a green light from me. That's why he has no kind of grace.
Yeah. And guess what? Even if he was hired right away, so be it. Because the issue here, and again, this is why I've always been against Sean more than Beane, because to me, Beane is the victim here, right? Beane is the one that's he doesn't have the freedom to really run his role the way he wants to run it. He has to run it the way Sean wants it. So the real culprit here is Sean. But based on everything that we're seeing and Sean separating himself from his GM, it's quite plausible and quite possible that Beane is going to be gone at the end of the season if the Bills don't make it back to the AFC Championship game.
And he backed him for what? What a reek. Let's see. Tommy said, by the way, someone brought up Von Miller and his 5 sacks, but we all say bad signing from Beane, but now he has more sacks than our combined 2 sack leaders. This falls on McDermott. Why? McDermott didn't say offer the guy $120 million over 6 years when he was 32 years old.
Yeah.
You could have did other things besides handing out that kind of money to somebody that old. That was the gross mismanagement of money, and that's why we're still paying for it right now. And the money that he's making in Washington, he can laugh at because he's still getting paid from us, basically.
Yep.
That's why that's a gross mismanagement of money. And this is why when people say the salary cap doesn't exist, now you see why I've been telling you guys since day one, it does.
Yeah. All right. So if you were concerned about whether or not we were going to actually talk about the Chiefs game, I mean, obviously it's Bills Chiefs. Everything that you could possibly hear about Bills Chiefs, you had to have heard by now in the last 6 years. But what we like to do on this show is we like to empower the Bills fans and give them the voice that they wouldn't normally have anywhere else, right? So we have back with us yet again. What's going on, sis? How you?
Can y'all hear me?
We can.
Yeah. What's going on, Dorothy?
How's it going?
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not breaking up. We can actually hear what you're saying.
Right?
Man, we good now. Yeah, so we are transitioning now to Bills versus Chiefs Sunday 4:25, and I mean you've heard a little bit about what we've been talking about, with the conversation surrounded around Brandon Beane and how this team has been built. In your mind, how does this team build of 2025 stack up against what you've seen from the Chiefs so far?
Not good. From my perspective, it's more kind of inconsistent, which is weird from last season because we had a harder schedule in 2024 and we basically brought back 90% of the team. So there has to be a breakdown from coaching to the player of why it's so difficult, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. Why is it so hard for us to pass down the field when it seemed so easy and so comfortable the previous season and we face harder opponents? Um, from my perspective, I don't really even think the one seed is a possibility because I've noticed that a lot of fans are saying it doesn't matter if we beat the Chiefs, we got to beat them in the playoffs. Well, first you have to get to the playoffs.
Right.
And at the moment, we've kind of dug ourselves into a hole. I think we'll get out of, losing those two games to the Falcons and the Patriots because I don't know if anybody realizes this. If we lose to the Chiefs, we would be the eighth seed. So technically, we would be outside looking in. So
Yep.
we're talking about we'll just get them in the playoffs. We might not even make it to the playoffs. And
Yeah.
I think that's the fan perspective kind of shifting towards what what's acceptable and what's not because I think it's so many different Bills fans that was so petrified with the drought, like y'all were saying that now you'll just accept anything. You'll just accept winning the division, getting a home playoff game. We don't even have a road playoff game win in
Mm.
the last 8 years. And we might have to go on the road. And from how the team is constructed, at the moment, I don't think we would. How would we match up against the Colts or the Broncos? Well, we beat them last season, but like I said, it's not the same team, not how it's being portrayed on the field. It's like a totally different team that's out of sync. Communication seems lost, and we got to find a way because it's the middle of the season, and the more losses that we get, we're not going to be able to get back in the division or win the division because New England has such a easier schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They're playing a fourth place schedule right now. And um I don't know if you listen to our local radio here, but they were talking about this yesterday on one of the shows. In order for us to get to that game against the Patriots and not have to win it, the Patriots would have to go 3-2 their next 5 games, and the Bills would have to go. I'm sorry, they would have to go 3-2 because they have a bye week in that 6-game stretch, and the Bills would have to go 6-0. Right. So my next question would be, do you see the Bills being able to hit a stretch like that and go 6-0 to make that game not count?
I would have to see how we perform on Sunday. I wouldn't be able to give an answer to that
I,
because I think the Chiefs outside the Ravens would be a bigger test just because of the back and forth over the years. But I think the Ravens have a better constructed roster. But things had to go our way for us to even win that game. So
yeah,
so the Chiefs game would be the first game where we can honestly get a picture of how does this team stack up against Chiefs. That's the best team in the NFL. So
yeah,
after that, I think I would have a better understanding of expectations. But my expectations have been lower because always in the back of my mind after we have like a 13 win season, which was last year, so it flips back and we have an 11-6 season the following year. And it's like, why do we make it so difficult when we had a clear path to the one seed? And it was like nobody cared about that. It's just you took the New England Patriots lightly. You didn't realize that They had a better coach than they had last year. They're actually
Mhm.
working with the quarterback to make him better. And voila, they're surrounding him with weapons. I mean, come on.
Yep.
We asleep at the wheel, and it's unacceptable if you're a fan and you're okay with this just making it to the playoff, then you can't be mad about McDermott. You can't say, "Well, we got to get rid of Beane." That they're giving you what you want. We're not in the drought anymore. You
Right.
should want more for this team. This is going into year 8 with Josh Allen, and we haven't even made a Super Bowl. We haven't even made an appearance. And people say we just got to get to the Super Bowl. No, we have to win it. In my opinion, if we don't get to the Super Bowl with this quarterback, it's a complete failure.
Yeah. Yeah. So going into this game against the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes across all the games he's played against us has a passer rating of 85.9 with 1,302 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The only time he did not throw an interception against us was back in 2020. Every game after that, he's had at least one interception thrown. Some people might say that that's, part of the recipe for the Bills winning. Just kind of give us your idea of some of the things that you see the Bills doing to win this game, or what do you think is necessary for the Bills to do to win this game?
I think they have to lean on play action. I think that would be definitely lean on the run game. And the weaknesses that I've heard and seen so far in the Chiefs defense is in the middle. They're kind of not really good at guarding slot receivers. I don't know if that's kind of like in the structure of how they're more so built to blitz, the quarterback. So I think if we attack the middle, and we definitely have a great slot in Shakir, I think we need to definitely lean on the run game and don't go away from it if it doesn't work in the beginning, because they're going to be expecting us to run. What we've shown on film is that we're a run heavy team. So they're going to be expecting it. We can't be predictable. And I think that's where the losses are coming, because it's nothing being created, nothing to get these receivers open. And I also think, that has a lot to do, with Josh being uncomfortable in the pocket for some reason
Right.
this year, which is,
Yeah.
it's unusual because we do have a great O line, but leaving the pocket so early, that also causes issues. And then once, a receiver, gets open, after 5 or 6 seconds, he's taking a sack. So we have to minimize the mistakes, because make no mistake about it, we have to play a near perfect game to beat this team. And what we've seen so far in the last month, that's not going to get the job done.
Real quick on the blitzing, to piggyback on that point, we're talking about the fifth highest blitz rate, 29%. They are 4th in the league in blitzes by defensive backs. But the funny thing about that is their pressure to sack rate against the Bills is an all-time low. So they get pressure, but they don't convert to sacks very often, as opposed to when they play other teams. So they're going to blitz us early and often. They're going to try to throw Josh off his game, but they have to know it's coming. We can get out of it, and we can exploit that. Rico did say McDuffie's still in Kansas City, but we can exploit that definitely. Beth, what's going on? Yeah. So we have to be creative, like you said. It's up to the coaching staff to exploit where they're coming from. They don't blitz as exotically as we saw in Atlanta.
Yeah. What's going on, Beth? So I'm gonna break some news here, and I want to see what you think about this, Dorothy.
Live reactions. Move that hand. We need to see the face.
So I heard I came across some information that originally Jordan Poyer had planned to retire this season, and he didn't approach the Bills at all. The Bills actually approached him and wanted him to come here, and they they wanted him to play, and let's just say it didn't work out that way initially, right? There needed to be some, ramp up time and stuff like that. But all of this was very surprising when I hear it, and there's some other details that I don't really want to put out there just yet. But what was surprising about this was at the time when this happened. I mean, Poyer came here the second week of training camp,
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
And at that point in time, we had been through the draft, we had been through free agency, and everybody, including yourself, were looking at this team like, where are the safeties, right? And so this was a very surprising thing to hear, that the Bills reached out to him and brought him in with the intent of having him play more than not, right? Because of the fact that would have to mean that they knew they had a problem at safety. So be a coward spill the tea. You're so nosy. So all right, I'll put it like this. So Poe didn't want to start. He didn't want to start right away. And he for sure said he didn't want to play 17 games. Right? So what that meant was they were going to have to put somebody else in there. Now, Sean McDermott has come out and said that Taylor Rapp is now gone pretty much for the rest of the season with his ankle injury. And yeah, you are messy. You're very messy. And they've kind of just, they've tried to smoothly dismiss Taylor Rapp from everybody's mind right now.
That ain't gonna happen.
It better not.
Dorothy knows that ain't gonna happen.
Right. So with Taylor Rapp being dismissed and now Jordan Poyer coming in, one of the other things I heard was during the Falcons game, Poyer was not planning on playing, and they came to him and they said, "Can we get you in there?" And no player is about to say no. You know what I'm saying? So of course he goes in.
He had his bag of leaves on the side. He's like, "What? Right. I ain't got my stuff here. We happen to brought it with us."
Right.
Fine.
So he goes in, and pretty much from that point on, the rest is history, right? Whether Poyer intended to start playing this early in the season or not, there's this social pressure on him now where he has to, kind of come in and be the solution at safety and try to help everybody else around him as much as possible. So I guess in saying all this now, getting all this out, and the fact that this shows clearly that the Bills knew it before the beginning of the season that they had a problem at safety and didn't do anything about it up until they went and got Poyer. What are your thoughts on that? And Key, I want to get yours too.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't have faith in the guys that they drafted, and that you're leaning towards past players. There's a reason why you didn't re-sign Poyer. It's probably a dip in production. You couldn't afford him anymore. But there's a reason why you let him go, last year. So and that's scary that we have to pull past players and get them on the field, because it's like I said, there has to be a breakdown in between the scheme and how they're being coached. Because I mean, just with like Keon and making it sound like players on this team are uncoachable. Like you can't teach them. With practice, I mean, you can teach somebody anything, but the breakdown and between practice and what we're seeing out on the field, it's just not there. I mean, it got a little bit better defensively last week with the Panthers, but come on, at the end of the day, it's the Panthers. You can't really judge by that. You have to judge solely on the teams that you're being compared with. And we're being compared to the Chiefs and the Ravens. And with our roster, how it's constructed now, we would be behind those two teams because of the talent deficiency.
Right.
Can things get better during the year as the weeks progress? Definitely, because we've We did it last year. I mean, as I said before, no team in the last 4 years have been given so many opportunities to get to the Super Bowl and win it and just not take advantage of it as the Buffalo Bills. And that's my opinion. And I'm sticking with it. It's just always seemed to be something that's holding this team back. And I think as fans, we got to push for stop accepting this because this other teams are getting better, and it seems like we're just getting worse, and we're just getting enough to stay relevant. And you're not gonna win a championship. This team don't have that championship mindset because, like I said, I was listening to Deion Dawkins last week, and he was talking about the 2-game losing streak. You know, he basically admitted that they didn't take the Patriots seriously. They expected to win, and he used the word complacent. And that's what I would describe this team. Complacent. Everybody done got paid now, so the expectation is like whatever. You know,
Yeah.
we're the Buffalo Bills, you know, we're gonna find a way to get to the playoffs. And like I said, if we lose, it's gonna make that just a little bit harder to get in. I think we'll get in the playoffs, but like I said, we shot ourselves in the foot by losing those 2 games that we should have won.
Right. Okay. So now, we got like maybe 90 seconds left, right? So let's do this. I want you to give us your rant for the game, whatever it is that you need to get off your chest. You know what I'm saying? Because you are connected to all these other podcasts and shows. You be going at it with these folk.
Her milkshake brought Rico to the yard.
I do.
It sure did. So whatever you want to say, let's go. The next 90 seconds are yours. Go.
All right. Bills fans, we got to support our team. We got to support our quarterback. I think we have a good chance. We just got to play within the structure. We can take care of the Chiefs. We can let Cook and Josh do their thing. I think we'll be okay. Just play within the structure and no more.
Oh, she's very animated.
No more. And I just wanted to throw this out here. Ravens fans, y'all back in the scene now. Y'all done came back alive. You know, remember now, y'all played the Dolphins and y'all was struggling that first half of the game. Now you come in, I mean, y'all can't go a day without talking about our quarterback, you know, making comments saying, oh, Lamar been out a month and he got as many touchdown passes as Josh Allen. Okay, that may be true, but has Josh Allen ever been sent to the bench playing the Kansas City Chiefs? I'll wait.
Damn, we got some crickets in here somewhere, I think. Do we? Nah.
That's what we doing.
Yeah.
We look at crickets.
We're gonna hit the crickets. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you so much, Dorothy, for letting Ravens fans know and encouraging us because we definitely need it going into this game. Anything else you want to say before you go?
I think it's gonna be a shootout. That's what I'm leaning towards. I think just like last year, it's gonna have to take something
You got a score
dramatic.
prediction?
Yeah, a score prediction 38-35.
Okay.
Bills.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm with it. Thank you so much, Dorothy. You have a great rest of your night.
Y'all do too. Thank you.
All right.
I'll be talking to you later tonight, I'm sure. But yeah, no. To answer your question about who was it? Was it rap? I think you asked about. I believe that's how you pose it, or whatever the case may be. Bringing in Poyer.
Mm-hmm.
No, that doesn't surprise me at all because they do it all the time. They do it across the board. You name a position, they've done it. They draft somebody and they bring somebody in on top of them. Hancock, you brought in, Poyer.
Mm-hmm.
You had Bishop. You got Rap. You got across the board.
Even
Max
though
Hairston
Hamlin was a starter before.
Hamlin was a starter. Max Hairston.
And Hamlin is gone with some mystery injury that I didn't even know about.
He had a hamstring and they just IR'd him because they had the two guys. They don't want to cut him, but they got the two guys coming back. So they use. I told you,
of course,
they're gonna find anybody with a hangnail, anybody they can put on the and then that's how they're going to take it. But you know, first and foremost, you look at Max Hairston. They brought in Trey White. They brought in Dane Jackson. They really didn't want this boy to play. Mm-hmm. you got linebackers at the wazoo that nobody gets to get on the field for. When are we going to start playing the youth? You know, Landon Jackson, who we knew wasn't ready. They picked him in the third round. I would have let the chips fall where they may there. You got Deion Walker, who was not going to play unless our boys, Daquan Jones and Ed Oliver got hurt. They tried their hardest. They tried TJ Sanders. He got hurt. Yeah. What can you do? Dwayne Carter, hurt. What can you do? You go get Larry and Ogunjobi. He's going to start. Let's do it. Oh, man. Okay, then what? We gotta sign the guy from Maryland who went to Dallas and Carolina. Did he fly back with us on Sunday? I don't know. But no, you know, it's
Rico. I know you got more tea. Talk to me after the show, bro.
And Nate said Landon Jackson on the bench. He ain't on the bench. He sit on the grass next to the bench.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to get this out too. For those of you that are thinking that, you know, Josh Allen has, I hate saying it this way because he does have adequate weapons. They're just not being used the right way. But for those of you that think that Josh is not going into this game at a deficit, look at his numbers against the Chiefs for the last 5 games, regular season. This man has 10 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, a quarterback passer rating of 94.5, 1,261 yards, by the way, over those 5 games, right? This man balls against this team in the regular season and in the postseason, right? He's never the issue against the Chiefs. What it comes down to is the play around him, right? Because conversely, as I said before, if you look at Mahomes' stats against the Bills, Mahomes in the last 5 games is 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 7 interceptions. The Bills are actually turning this man over in the regular season. For some reason or another, Sean McDermott defensively has an answer for this offense that doesn't seem to come into play in the postseason, but we get them during the regular season, right? We turn them over. We stop them on downs. We've seen every which way that the Bills can beat the Chiefs. I was about to say the Patriots can beat the Chiefs in the regular season, right? What we're seeing clearly from these statistics is Josh Allen is never the problem in these games. He's never the problem in these games. Even if he misses a guy, every quarterback misses a guy. We can say that about Mahomes too. So let's not look at Josh like he's doing this and he's doing. Mahomes leaves the pocket early. It's not just that, right? It has to be a combination of multiple things. That's how you get proper context of what's really going on in any situation. It's never just one thing. So Mahomes has been playing not that great, but when it counts, the guys around him step up.
What's your score prediction?
I'm sorry. I know the Bills get up for these games. I do. If I see something totally different in the first, few minutes of the game, and as far as the Bills passing offense, then I'll say the Bills probably win this game 38-34, right? Something like that, where they're up ahead, 2 scores, and they put the Chiefs in a position to play catch up, right? If the Bills play like they played last week, because that's the issue here. The Chiefs still have a good run defense. Their pass defense has gone down. Their pressure rate is down. They're 15th in the NFL right now in pressure rate. Just off of pass rush alone. Chris Jones is not getting a lot of sacks. Karlaftis is not getting a lot of sacks. For some reason, their pass rush is not the same, right? If the Bills play the same way they played last week against the Panthers in terms of their passing game, it's not going to be enough. And I got the Bills losing this one probably 31-17. I think it will be that ugly.
I got 31-20. I got 31-28 Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I have. But you can talk me out of it. You can talk me out of it. Only would give me an ice cold bottle of that Reese tea. That's the only way.
That'll do it.
That's the only way I get it.
That'll definitely do it.
Coach D, where's the tea? Anyway, why do I want this tea? Because it's one part refreshing, one part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when you get yourself an ice cold Reese tea. But what do I know? See for yourself. Get yourself a case or an individual. You know, I'll put my name on it. I put my word on it. It's like that. It's like that for sure. So go over to Delta Sunday. Go over to the stores that carry this tea. Tell them if they don't carry it, we're not coming here until you do carry this tea. Reach out to Post Podium Podcast. Reach out to Reese Tea themselves. Tell them, how do we get to know what this tea? We need it in our stores. We need the business. But what do I know? Head to Reese Tea for you. Let them know Post Podium Podcast sent you.
That's it. That's it. All right. We got to jump out the window. So let's get that music going right now. Okay. There should be enough time where I don't sound warbled. If you are hearing this music, that means we got to jump out the window real quick. So here's what I need everybody to do right this second. If you could, please.
He's begging. James Brown.
Please.
Please don't go.
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, but more importantly and more beneficial to you, hit that bell, make that thing so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. Like, we will be back live on Monday. And the regular schedule for all the shows will be good to go for next week as well. So Coach D's Corner should be back next week. I apologize for not doing that show yesterday, but he had an event he had to be at, which is why we weren't able to do it. If you are a member, then you are in our Discord chat, and I did put that in our Discord chat to let all the members know why we didn't do the show. So if you want that kind of inside information, if you want some of the tea, like Rico said, you got to be a member. I tell the members all the tea I get when I get it, as much as I can possibly get. So with that being said, definitely check that out. That link for our membership is in the description of this video. So are all the other links to all of our other social media pages. If you're more comfortable on another social media page, if you want to follow us there, definitely just hop right in the description of this video here. Click that link. It'll take you right to our page. We are everywhere. We are on Spotify. We are on Twitter. We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you can, except Kick, maybe.
I don't know what that is. So that works.
or Twitch. I don't think we're on Twitch either. No. But anyway, listen, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. But Keys is about to get fired if I don't get us out of here. So with that being said, this has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the All Truth No Sodium Takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
And like I said before, I'm not angry anymore. I'm 40 Keys. I love y'all. See y'all later.
All right, y'all have a great night. Peace.